So I just wanted to do a sound check. Sound check 1 2 1 2. Just kidding. Hey guys. So I was supposed to originally record and do this look for y'all, but my man's is out of town this week. So I don't have anybody watching my daughter, and I cannot do any film related stuff like involving makeup because this girl, like, she will either want to play with my makeup or she will know that I'm distracted by doing my makeup and she will start doing stuff that she's not supposed to be doing. So I did like start filming, this look, but then I had to stop because she stuck a peanut in her nose. Don't worry, it came out. I got it right on time. But yeah, so I was like, okay, no, this isn't gonna work because my daughter's over here sticking peanuts up her nose. Not gonna happen. So when my man comes back, like, I'll choose a day, or we'll figure out a good day for him to, watch her for a little bit, and while I, do a makeup video for y'all. So with that being said, I since I just recently finished cosmetology school, and I literally just got my license like a couple weeks ago in the mail. So everything's official. Yay me. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. But I get a lot of questions about where I went, like to school. I get a lot of questions about like what they teach you. So I was like, you know what? Let me just make a video because there's a lot of people out, or let me just make a video about, my experience, and then like, I guess like how my school works. Because I hear a lot, when I was in school, I heard a lot of females like talk about, how much they like makeup, and, that, or they wanted to go, to school to learn about makeup. And see, the thing is, beauties with makeup, like, you don't need a license. So technically there's no school to go to get like a license for makeup. So going to cosmetology school is not going to help you learn about makeup. There are classes, that a lot of people do, that'll help you learn more about makeup. You just have to find some in your area, because I know that there are classes, that will teach you about makeup and stuff like that. You just have to look for the right one in your area, and they will cost you. But my advice about that is just really look into whoever it is that is educating that class, and see, look at their work, look at their videos if they post videos, and see if that's the type of makeup that you want to learn, or the type of techniques that you want to learn. Because most of the time, like, they'll teach you, yes, but they'll teach you their style of work, like their style, their technique of eyes, how they do the eyes. Like, for instance, I have a cut crease. Like, if I was doing a class, I would teach you exactly how I did this. You know what I mean? So a lot of the classes, that's what they do. They teach you, what they know, as they should, because that's what they know. So you just have to be really careful when you're picking a class to go to regarding makeup. Make sure it's a technique that, you like. But anyways, that was off topic. So, well, not really. So, a lot of females at school, were kind of disappointed because they don't really go over makeup with you. You know what I mean? Like, because technically you don't need a license to do makeup, so they don't really touch base on makeup. Like, I think when it was, I think it was my second month there, we learned about facials. So during the facial term, because each term at my school was broken down in 3 weeks. Okay, so my second, third week, we did facials, and during the facial period, there was 3 days of I guess them teaching makeup. Like, I don't know. I wasn't there for those 3 days, or maybe even like a week, because I was out sick. I think I was out sick or my daughter was out sick. So I didn't really experience what they actually talked about. I think they had like somebody come in and do a demo, on a model. But other than that, that was it. They didn't. A lot of girls were disappointed because, I mean, they didn't really touch base. It was only like 3 days, and I think all they did was do makeup on each other, and that was it. So, I mean, and I'm not really mad at that because I do know about, I already knew about makeup going in. So, like, when I found out there wasn't really that much that they were going to teach or whatever, or there wasn't that much that they taught about it because, like I said, I wasn't there for that week. I was just like, oh, wow, well, that sucks, for the people who, thought that they were going to learn about makeup. Like, sorry, but it's not required to have a license. So I'm not mad that they didn't really go into detail about makeup. But in your book, if you read your book, it does go into detail about like face shapes, eye shapes, what colors go with what skin, lips, like where to contour for what kind of face. Like, the book has it all. Yes, it does. So, I mean, you can read the book if you want to learn, about makeup, the skin, the face shapes, eye shapes, like all that kind of good stuff. Like, it's there in the book. They just don't teach it to you because, I mean, it's not going to be on your written exam, and it's not going to be on your practical. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do makeup at state. So with that being said, if you are looking into learning about makeup only, cosmetology school is not for you. Another thing is, if you know that this is what you want, I really recommend that you find a school in your area where they're really gonna teach you. And why I say that is because, like, with my experience, I mean, I kind of really didn't have no choice. I had to go to school here in Brownsville. Like, I live here in Harlingen. I heard a lot of bad reviews about the school that was in Harlingen. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go to school here in Brownsville. And the reason why I say find a school that will teach you is because at my school, or well, in general here in Brownsville, the first language is Spanish. That's cool. I get that. Like, I'm not mad at that. But my problem is I wasn't really taught to their full potential, or to, because most of my instructors, their first language is Spanish. So even one of them, it got to the point where, like, I was always complaining because it got to the point to where I was on floor already, and the instructor that was on floor only talked Spanish. She didn't even understand English. So it was really hard for us to communicate with each other, and it was really sad because I'm spending a little bit close to $18,000 to go to school. So I expected, to learn what I needed to learn without having any trouble. if that makes sense with the language. You know what I mean? So I didn't like that about my school. So if you speak only English, I recommend you find a school and look into the instructors before you even enroll to make sure that they are fluent in English. Because if not, you're gonna have like a really hard time. I promise you. Because I had a really, really hard time. I'm not gonna lie. Like once I hit floor, it was a mess. What happened, baby? One sec. Okay, sorry. I had to attend to my daughter. But yeah, so that is one of the things that you should look into before you even enroll. Make sure that if you only speak English, make sure that the instructors that are there also speak English as well, because if not, like you're gonna have a really hard time, like for real. Um, so what else should you look into before enrolling? Make sure you have a babysitter, okay? Like I did have a sitter for my daughter, thank God. So I didn't have to worry about that. The only thing I had to worry about sometimes was like a lot of the times she would get sick, and then of course, I would get sick because I'm her mom, and I would have to miss, and I graduated January, February, March, April, May. I graduated 4 months later than I should have. So, I mean, but that's life. Like, I'm not really mad at that. I'm just glad that it's cute. I'm just glad that I finished. But it was really hard. Um, because I did have to take, yeah, I had to retake, some terms because I failed them due to hours. So obviously I had to retake them because I needed them. Yes, Card. Watch your videos, baby. So make sure you have, the whole babysitter stuff taken care of before you even enroll. I know sometimes they have programs where your children can get into if you don't have childcare like on your own. You just have to talk to them. I don't know if like all schools offer that, but my school did. But luckily, thank God, I did have somebody to watch after my child. The only thing is sometimes we would get sick and I would have to miss. But other than that, let's get into my experience. My school was boring. It was really, really boring. My first term, I was really excited. I would wake up early. I would do my makeup, go to school, early because I'm so excited to be there, to learn, blah, blah, blah. The first instructor that I had, she made it really fun. I really liked her, and I did learn from her, and she was such a sweetheart. I'm not gonna name any names, but she was amazing. I loved her. The way she talked and everything, like she was so cool. She did know Spanish. She did speak Spanish. You can tell it was her first language, but she spoke English very well. And that is one of the things that I really loved about her, is that me and her communicated a lot because she was fluent in English. The second instructor that I had, because at my school you go, I think it's four. I think there are 4 terms in one class, so 4 months in one. No, I don't know. I don't fucking remember. I wasn't keeping track. But anyways, so the second instructor that I had, she was cool. She was really, really strict. But I really liked that about her because my shit was always on point. I was always up to date with my stuff. Because she was really strict. She had, her dates were everything needed to be turned in. You had to finish your stuff on time. Like, she was really strict, and but it was a good thing. And I did learn, a lot from her. So that was good as well. The third instructor that I had, it was a little bit more complicated because she her first language is Spanish. But she can understand, but she can't really speak English that well. So it was really hard to like communicate with her, but like we would get our point across to each other. You know what I mean? And she was so sweet. Like, she went out of her way to do everything, like, for everybody. She always made sure everybody was good. If you needed something, she would go out of her way and go get it for you. She would do everything. Like, this woman is just, you know, if they didn't have her at that school, I don't know what they would do, to be honest, because she was awesome. She was the backbone, like, to the program. Like, every time we went on field trips, like, she was the one that would always go with us. The field trips that we would have, like, for face painting, like, for the kids, or we would help out, and do updos, like, and makeup for special needs, stuff like that. We did a lot of that kind of stuff, and she was the one that was always, the instructor to go. She actually attended the Barber Games. The Barber Games is something that my man has every year, um, where barbers compete. It's a show, and last year, she went, which meant that if the students went, we got hours because she was there. So I love her for doing that. She didn't have to do that, but she did, and that meant so much to me. So I love her for doing that. Because of her, some of us were able to get hours attending. So I was able to get hours, for being there. I know a couple of the students went, so that was awesome. Shout out to her. I'm not gonna mention her name, but yeah. Now, the last instructor that I had was the one that we couldn't communicate with each other. It was very, very hard. I really loved her though, because luckily for me, I had people around me, my friends that I had there in school. They would, be next to me when she's trying to teach me, and they would translate for me, which was, they didn't have to do that, but they did. So I love, the girls who did that for me. I love them for doing that, because she's a really good instructor. You know what I mean? It's just, the thing is that she didn't understand English, and she couldn't speak it as well. So I mean, it really sucked, because I know she was good. I did learn from her because of my friends, that they were able to translate, but it just sucked because that's a hassle. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that was a little something about the instructors that I had. Um, so after I completed the floor, because that was on floor, we went to a separate classroom. We went back to a classroom. It's separate. It's only for state board prep. State board prep meaning that all you do is first you study your ass off, because you're about to take your written exam. So the first 3 weeks that we were there in that class, she had us study. Like, we were doing nothing else but studying all day. I'm talking about from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We were in the class sitting down studying. And when I would come home, I would study my ass off. Okay, like, that was the most stressful part about school. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like, okay, shit's getting real. I really need to pass this test because this is the moment of truth. Like, if I don't pass, like, I already know myself, my self esteem will go really, really low. Like, if not low, completely gone. So me and my friend, we would, study together and help each other out. And it was cool because, the day comes that we're gonna, take our written, and we were scheduled at the same time. So it was pretty cool. We get there at the same time. We find the place where we're taking the test. We go in, we take the test. I think I finished before her, to be honest. Yeah, I finished before her, and then like right when I was done, she finished. So like we were really, like on point with our timing together. It was so crazy. But so on the written, I feel like I really overstressed myself because uh, I don't know. Like when I was answering the questions, I was like, "Oh, okay. Like I know this. Like, oh, I know this too. Like, it's right there. There's the answer. Like, you know what I mean?" And I would flag because it gives you a chance to like flag the questions that you're like not so sure of, and you can go back to them at the end and go answer them. So I think I flagged about 10. So right there, I knew. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pass because like it's 100 questions, and I only flagged 10. But still, I went back and I answered those, and then I went back and reviewed the whole thing again. Which, come to find out, my friend, did the exact same thing as I did, which is probably why we finished around the same time. So then you submit your test, and then once you submit it, like I guess the computer's like grading it right then and there. So it's like there's a little circle, like kind of like a loading circle, So it's like just a circle, and I'm just like, oh my god, can you just give me my results already? Like fuck, like it was so stressful, right? So then it pops up and it says pass. So I'm just like, yes, like I was like yes, right? And then I'm like, oh fuck, because there's other people in there testing with you, right? So it's like super quiet. So it's like, oh shit, I wonder if they heard you, right? And I was just so happy, you guys. Like I was in shock. So I sat there for like a good minute, like, and the minute felt like the longest minute of my life because I was just like, dude, I fucking did it. Like I did it. So finally, like I look back because there's like a see-through mirror or whatever, or the see-through glass, and the lady's like telling me to come. So I go out and I sit down, and my score is printing. So once the guy hands me the paper, that's where you see like your actual score. So I looked down and it was an 81, and I just started crying my eyes out. Like I was so happy because I worked my ass off. I studied my ass off for that fucking test, you guys. I really did. So then it was funny because my friend is coming out, right? And then it's her turn, like they're printing her results, and she gets she looks at them, but like mind you, like I'm still over here like on the side crying, right? So then like she's looking at hers, and then like she didn't really show emotion. So I was like, okay, bitch, like the fuck, smile. Like I don't know, I don't know. I think she was like kind of worried about me, like why was I crying. So then we walk out together, right? And then she was like, oh no, 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 she didn't even tell me nothing. I asked her, I was like, did you pass? And she was like, yeah. And then she's like, did you? And I was like, yes. And then so she was like, oh, you stupid, like why were you crying? You scared me. She's like, I thought you failed. And she's like, I didn't even want to talk to you. And I was like, no, I'm just so happy. So we gave each other a hug, and it was awesome because I got an 81 and she got an 82. So like we were just like real, neck and neck, and I was like so in awe because like we were only a point away from each other. Fucking bitch, she was only ahead by 1 point, but no, I'm kidding. No, but like it was pretty cool. Like we stuck together, through that time, and we really did help each other out. So, shout out to her. So then after that, the next 9 weeks was practicals. So all we were doing was working on our mannequin, and on our mannequins, what we were doing was we were prepping for everything that is um, on the test for the state board. State board is where you're doing like the blow drying, like show them that you know how to blow dry, show them how to cut hair, show them that you know how to paint nails, like all that stuff. So for the next 9 weeks of the last 9 weeks of my, how do I say that, last 9 weeks of school. The last 9 weeks of school is that's what we were doing. So that was easy for me. It was actually really easy for me because I mean it's what I love to do. Like it kind of just comes natural. Um, so that's all we were doing. We were just practicing for that, and right after I graduated, I think it was like a week after I graduated. The next week, that's when my practical test was scheduled. So, here I am, getting my bags ready. I had my friend come over, and I was like, girl, you need to come over because I'm scared that I forgot something, and knowing me, like, I'm gonna fucking forget something if you don't come over and help me check my bags. So she did. She came over. Everything was fine. Like, yeah, everything was fine. So that was cool that she came over to help me. But so I go, and it was about 4 hours long, and I don't think it should have been that long because I mean I don't think it could have been that long. Like, see, the thing is that when you go and everything is timed, like every service that you do is timed. So when you go, they have you put your stuff away, you take your picture, you blah blah blah, your name, you check in or whatever the fuck, right? So you go, the instructors that are there, like, examining you, they're super strict. Um, Almost as if like they got a problem with you. You know what I mean? Like they look at you like, what's up? Like what's good? So I'm just like, well, what's good? No, I'm kidding. But it's just really serious. Like it's really serious in there, and it is a pretty serious thing. So hello, they have to be like that. So, anyways, like I said, every service is timed, but they did mention that if all of us completed the service within the time limit, that we would move on. There was a girl next to me from a different school. I don't know where she was from, but she took the longest for every service. So I think that's why it took a little bit longer for us because, like, all of us would finish and she would still be there. Like, I mean, good for her, like, taking her time, I guess. Trying to get it perfect. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, it was really long for us. Like, I got there at 8:30, and I didn't leave till 12:30, almost 1. So I was like, bitch, I'm tired. I didn't even eat. I should have ate. Didn't. Whatever. So I'm sitting there, and we're waiting for our results, and we get them automatically. So as we're walking out, when we're done, the lady's out there, handing us our scoring. So I get it and I look at it. First thing I look for is pass. Like, I'm like, okay, where does it say that I passed? So it said that I passed. So I was like, oh, yeah, I passed. Right. So then I see like my grade, and I was like 78. The fuck? Bitch, what? Like, is it because I have purple hair or what? Because when I went, I had purple hair. No, but like, I mean, it is what it is. I knew what I was doing. I knew like all the steps to everything that I was doing because my teacher that I had, for our state board prep, like she was the strict one. So, and she taught me really good, so like I knew, like, I think what it is sanitation. Like, there were times where I'd be like, okay, do I sanitize right now or like do I not? Like, fuck. So I know it has to be like they took points off for sanitation. Like, it has to be because of that. Like, I was just nervous as to when is the right time to sanitize. Like, when's the right time to not sanitize. Like, I don't know, but I think it had to be because of that. Like, because I knew everything else that I was doing. Like, I knew. Like, I went in like super confident. I mean, at least I didn't fail. I got a 78, whatever. 78, 80, 81. I mean, and I got an 81 on my written. So, I mean, they're pretty close. It's only 3 points away. So, whatever. But, yeah. So, that was that, like, through how the classes went. So, you're in, I think they have a class for facials. They have a class for, like, nails, hairstyle. Is it hairstyling? Yeah, like hairstyling, hair cutting, hair coloring. What else? I think there's one more. The perms, all that, like all that stuff. Like, so all those six, like, they're broken down. Like, there's other stuff like that are involved in it. You know what I mean? Like, you learn, like, they go over braids, like they go over acrylics. But really, like, my point to this video is you're not going to learn anything going to cosmetology school. I'm telling you that right now. You're not going to learn shit unless you bring your phone with you and you're on YouTube all day, which you can't really do because you have to do your work, you know? So that means you have to go home and be on YouTube all night, but not really, because then you have homework that you have to do all fucking night. The homework, don't even get me started with that shit. Ugh, the book work that we had to do for homework was horrible. I fucking hated it. Ugh, that was the worst part of school. Like, it is so much, but it benefits you at the end, I promise, because I think that's why I got the grade I did for my written, because like I actually knew, you know, everything that was on there. But the homework was a bitch, okay? But once we got to floor, like, we stopped with the book work, so we didn't have no more of that. So it was such a load off my shoulders. Like, I could come home and enjoy my children. Like, it was just it was great. So you got that little break period, but then you hit state board after you're done with the floor, and it's just like, whoa, bring me the stress back again, why don't you? And they did. But yeah, so I feel like my school is a good school to go to if you're not looking to have fun, because my school, the program, it was really boring. For the most part, like, the instructors were fun. They did do, you know, some fun stuff for us, but the director that we had, she wasn't really fun. Like, anytime, like, we would have like a potluck, you know, for our class, or we would sometimes the instructors would get us together and do, you know, chalupa. We would play chalupa. Like, she was never involved with it. To be honest with you, I think I only saw her like 20 times out of the year and 4 months that I was there, which is not a lot. And it sucks because she is a really good instructor. She's a good teacher, because I did learn from her once. She taught me how to blend in my haircut, because I had messed up my very first haircut, and she called me out on it, which I didn't mind. I'm like, okay, bring it on, teach me, right? And she did. She taught me. So I appreciated that, right? But after that, like, I never really saw her come out. The only time I would see her come out is if we had like meetings about shit that wasn't going right. You know what I mean? So she was really boring. She wasn't really involved. So my school was really just to learn what you needed to learn to pass your exams, like for state, like to get your license. And you know what, like I don't know if it's just my school, or if it's every cosmetology school or every cosmetology program. You don't learn, okay, what you learn. I mean, what you learn, but like the only stuff that you learn is the stuff that is going to be on your written exam and on your practical exam, okay? And you do learn a lot about sanitation, let me tell you. So that is a really good thing. I did learn a lot about sanitation, so I can sanitize my stuff properly, and I know exactly what to use and exactly how to use it. Let me see, what else? There's not really any tea, to be honest with you. That's like the only tea that I had was about the director, like, and she's a really cool chick, like, you know what I mean, like, but I feel like she was just hidden a lot of the times. And when we first met her, she talked about, I don't know why people think that I'm so mean, and I'm not, and but it's like, well, you kind of are. Like, whenever I would ask her like a question, like, it was never really with a smile, like, so it's like, I don't even want to come back to your office, like, TBH. Oh, and one thing that I really didn't like about that school was the director of the whole campus. He helped me out a lot because I didn't have, my high school diploma. So when I enrolled through this program where I could basically do both. Like, I could go through this program to get my diploma, and then I could also, go to school for Cosmo. So that was really cool that they had that, and I know that the program that I enrolled in, they're not offering that one anymore because it really sucked. Even the director said it himself, like, it sucked. So I ended up dropping out of that program, and I just ended up getting the GED on my own. So I mean, and that was totally fine. So if you don't have if you don't have your high school diploma or your GED, don't worry about it. SC, I got you covered, girl. Because that, like, I mean, I couldn't. I feel like that's a really good thing that they have to offer. They do have programs. If you don't have your high school diploma, like, they can still help you out, and you can still go to school and do what you want to do, like, get your career started. Even if you don't have your diploma, like, they're gonna help you out. So yeah, like, if you're looking to just strictly go in and come out, pass your shit and get out, like, go to Southern Careers in Brownsville. If you're looking to have fun, if you're looking to learn a lot, if you're looking for, like, I don't know, like, if you're just looking for something else, I don't recommend that school for you. But I really think that you should just get in and out either way. You know what I mean? Like, and that's exactly what I did. I got in and I got out. I did with nobody, so that's about it. Like, mine was pretty breezy. I didn't have problems with nobody. For the most part, I think everybody liked me, and I liked everybody. Like, I had no problems with nobody, at my school. So yeah, I got in and I got out. But yeah, you guys, so I hope y'all enjoyed that little breakdown. I don't even think it was in order. I tried my best to explain everything. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. And do me a favor, if y'all have any requests, like, because I need some ideas to put on for y'all, to record for y'all. Like, I need some ideas. I know my eyebrows is going to be one of them, but I'm just, like, waiting for them to grow into the shape that I want them before I record that. But yeah, if y'all have any ideas, put them in the comments, and I got you. So stay tuned, you guys. I'm gonna be uploading a lot more within the next month. Hopefully, I can get some makeup stuff out there. And yeah, y'all stay beautified, and I will see y'all soon. Later.